What's good, y'all? We're back at it again with another video, and thank you for coming to take a trip with Willis. So, this is, if I'm not mistaken, week 3 for the Winter Art Garden 90-day challenge. Let me know how it's been going for y'all down in the comments. Or if you're joining us on the challenge, it's never too late to start, right? It's been going pretty well for me. I think there are quite a few things that I failed at already, and I'm just gonna pick back up where I dropped off at, so I can continue going. I don't want to give up on it. So I'm pretty sure in the last video I was mentioning that I was doing a 90-day challenge, or I might have been at the beginning of the night, or not the 90-day challenge, sorry, a water fast. I'm pretty sure at the end of the last video I was talking about a water fast, and the 3-day water fast, and it was going well for a good bit there. I started it on a Wednesday. So Wednesday I made it through just fine. I didn't have any issues. It already felt good to just do something that I never done before. My mom in the past has, I guess, done fasts in general, and as a kid I didn't really want to do that. I'm like, I just want to eat food. Like, why are you making me do the fast too? So I didn't really understand the purpose of the fast, right? And I was like, I'm gonna start it for hopefully a detox, number one, and number two, for just hopefully getting closer to God, right? And I made it through day 1 just fine. Day 2, I was cool. Where I do think I messed up at is I played basketball the first day of my fast, and I was doing fine for day 1 and day 2, but I think I used up a lot of the energy and a lot of the, I guess, nutrients and stuff like that in my body I had already. And the recovery was rough. Like, recovering from playing basketball for, I think I played for like 3 or 4 hours, and I was gone as hard as I normally would, just of course without any food in my system. So I didn't really feel the effects of that till day 3. Got to day 3, and boy, when I tell you I was suffering. I woke up, got ready for work. It was about 8:30 at this point, right? I'm at work, and like, I'm starting to feel nauseous. Or honestly, let me rewind. When I first woke up, it was just hard to move properly. Like, my bones were hurting, or my body was hurting from my basketball session. And I'm assuming that already you would feel a little bit weak, because if you don't eat for a while, you get a little weakness in your system. So I was feeling weak. It felt like a drag just to pick up my feet. Felt a little haziness, yeah, that's the correct word, a little haziness, brain fog, basically. It was hard to think. When I was doing x-rays, I'm an x-ray tech, I don't know if I mentioned that before. I was doing x-rays. I started to, I was messing up on simple stuff, like things that I would never mess up on. Consider I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years now, right? And it's like, I'll make it through. I drank some more water, and I got to 10 o'clock, and I was like, man, I'm just extremely hungry. And I started to get concerned, because I was like, I keep messing up on these x-rays, and I'm feeling dizzy, and it's annoying to move and stuff like that. So it hit about like 11:30 now, and I walk out the X-ray department, and right beside the X-ray department is the cafeteria. I smelled that food, and that's when I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And I just sat there, and I was like, I'm just gonna get some food, because I don't think I'm gonna make it through the rest of this day if I'm gonna have to do all these X-rays, especially doing them alone, and I can't keep messing up on it. And like, I started just making so many excuses for like, well, some of them are kind of valid. Overall, I was starting making a lot of excuses, and I think that's like where a lot of that temptation comes from. And I went to go get food, and I ate it, and I felt terrible, like in my heart, like eating the food. And the mindset I tried to keep was not to sit there and like let myself fall into condemnation, and just essentially like backtrack completely. Of course, the fast is over because I've now eaten, and I didn't want to like fall into the traps of like, I've already messed up on the fast, so I might as well just like continue to do what I want and stuff like that. And I started to fall for it for a little bit, because like there's some things I definitely after the fact was just like, I might as well anyway, and went ahead and did those things. And they got backslid for like I can't even say 2. Let me think. So that was Friday. I say for some things I backslid for like 2 or 3 days, and then for one of the challenges that's on there, I just went back and messed up completely on that. Right. It's like 4 or 5 days. It just kept going and just kept going and just kept going. I was like, you know what? Let me actually get it together, because like it's not getting better. Like there was no satisfaction from this from the start. So I'm like, I backslid into something that I wasn't even enjoying, or I wasn't even feeling fulfilled from. So it's like, what's the point? So it's like, let me actually get back on track. So that would have been like a week and a half ago, maybe. I don't remember. I don't have my calendar up. But I mean, aside from that, I've been working out fairly consistently. I've really been on top of it this week. It's Wednesday, and I've already done upper, lower, cardio, and core. So one day I did legs, and I was going for heavy legs, trying to really focus on increasing my strength on that, right? Heavy legs, try to hit every part of the body. I think the only thing I didn't really hit was hips, and it's just because I ran out of time. But I wanted to do like hip thrust, and I just didn't have any time for that. But at the end of that day, I went to go play basketball. So that felt good. I went to go play ball for about an hour. On Tuesday, I did upper body. That's some pretty good lifts, and that I did chest press or bench press, and then incline dumbbell press, lat pull down. I did some shoulder work. I did like very light weights for rotations, because I'm physical therapy for my left shoulder, so I'm like, I might as well do the same thing for my right. So I just did like some rotations with like a 10-pound dumbbell. I did lateral raises. I did shrugs. Overall, very, very good workout. Felt extremely good to get that done. And then I did core later. So I'm recovering today. Not planning on doing much aside for just editing videos, maybe playing some games with my friends, and getting back into like journaling. And I was doing pretty well with reading my Bible and stuff like that. Fell off of that, so I'm gonna start back again today. And then tomorrow, the goal is to do plyometrics. So I'm mainly going to focus on my lower body for that. And then on Friday should be calisthenics, upper body. And that should essentially round out my week. And on the weekend, I'm going to try to go for a run. But if I don't, it's not necessarily a failure because I've already done everything that I really wanted to do for the week, right? I bought me an air fryer. I've been real excited about that. I bought me an air fryer, right? Really nice air fryer. So my food has been so much better. Because before, I live in the barracks, and also I'm not even at my like home barracks, so where I have all my other like kitchen tools that I would use to even attempt to cook an actual good meal. So I've been mainly eating like frozen things and mainly frozen meals with protein shakes, protein bars, fruit, to try to get like everything I really want for my diet. But the frozen meals weren't really doing it. So I bought an air fryer, got me some vegetables. Nothing crazy. I know it's not the most rounded out veggie mix, but I got like peppers. So I think it was yellow, orange, and red peppers, cucumber, potatoes. What else? Onions. And I cut all those up together. I put them in the air fryer, or I put them on the thing to where it's essentially like sauteed them, and salt, pepper, tossed in olive oil. That was that. And then garlic, salt, and pepper for my steak and chicken, to make that very simple. And whenever I ran out of potatoes, I just switched my carbs to rice, in which I'm trying to lay off white rice for the sake of my blood pressure and for the sake of my blood pressure and stuff like that. So I got brown rice and quinoa. Yes, brown rice, quinoa, or quinoa. It's quinoa. So I got those two, and I've been eating that for my carbs in that sector. So of course I have my breakfast items, lunch, protein bars, stuff like that, but the frozen meals were mainly for my dinner and lunch. So that made my dinner and lunch really good. So I'm real happy with that. Overall, challenge is going good. Getting back on it. I think for just life, one of the things that was on the list is to limit social media, right? Or not to have it at all. And at some point, I think it was like the day before we started the challenge, I was on TikTok, and we know everything that's going on with the government and stuff. I'm not going to have any comments on it, but it felt necessary because that's the only source of news that I receive, because I don't have any television or anything like that. So I kept TikTok for a while solely for this purpose of going on there to see what's going on in the world. And it's been about like 3 or 4 days maybe, and all that stuff just fell off my For You page completely. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it again. Only post, not scroll, because it came to a point where and I noticed it today, where I was on there, and while I was at work, every time I got to a stopping point and I just didn't have anything to do, or I feel like I didn't have anything to do, first thing I went on was TikTok. And I'll get off of it, but it's just the fact that I keep going straight back to it, going back onto it, straight back to it, And so I went ahead and got rid of that again, so I can get back on the purpose of, or get back on my purpose. I'm gonna try to figure out different ways for me to get my news, because TikTok's is a lot of times biased regardless, and I don't want to have biased news. So maybe that's just a call for me to go ahead and do my own personal research. So with that though, for I guess as I think it's been 3 weeks overall, I've been having a lot more conversations than I normally do. I'm not necessarily introverted, but I don't really go out of my way to talk to people, because I usually try to find something for me to do, and conversations is usually like one of the last thoughts on my brain. So like even at work, I've been here at this clinic for 2 months already, right? And the first month, maybe some laughs and jokes here, but I didn't really hold any conversations, especially no meaningful conversations with anybody. Second month, I was gone for some of it. I was at the Louder Than Life festival, and with that also, a lot of people were taking leave during that time period. So it was mainly just me working by myself, doing X-ray in September. But I started talking to people a little bit more. But since it hit October, to be honest with you, especially considering that, like, in my free time, I'm not using it for social media, or even I'm not watching as much YouTube, I've been going out of my way to go talk to people. And funny enough, these have been some of the most meaningful conversations I've had in a very long time. Some of the most authentic conversations I've had in a very, very long time. And I appreciate that, because I don't know, sometimes I feel like whenever you get into a pattern of like talking to the same people consistently, especially people that you could sometimes consider as your friends, if y'all both don't have a lot going on with your life, or one person does and the other person doesn't, it either feels like you're the highlight, and when you actually care to like have a conversation versus just monologue the entire time, it kind of makes it feel weird, I guess, or doesn't feel, I don't use the word authentic, it's just not as meaningful. It feels like every single time you're just going on there just to be like, or you're going to go talk to your friends just to be like, yeah, this is going on with my life, for them to be like, yeah, this is going on with my life, or I did this today, I did that today. And it's just like very, very base level stuff that you would do whenever you pass someone in the hallway. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. And it's like, that's in the conversation. And that starts to feel kind of weird when we're talking about someone that is your friend, right? Someone that you try to go out of your way and conversate with. Maybe I'm just chatting, but regardless, like, I do think some of the conversations I've had with people here and these past few weeks have been some of the most meaningful conversations I've had this year. And it feels like nice to be curious again, to be curious about like people. And maybe that's where like the balance comes from. Like, you of course have your people that you talk to fairly often, but then that doesn't mean you shouldn't be open to talking to other people, because that curiosity, the ability to learn something new about somebody, which sometimes can help you learn something new about yourself, which I've experienced a few times through these conversations. It's just like, it's a beautiful part of life. And while like I'm not gonna be like this huge social butterfly that's like going up to every single person I know trying to have conversations, I've never been one to not appreciate whenever I get the opportunity to talk to somebody and potentially develop a close relationship with them. But that's been, I guess, my update since the last video, and also a little life update. I might be going back home to my home base soon, so we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. I'm not necessarily excited for it, but also it is what it is. All I can do is just do what I can do best with what's given to me. Jesus. Anyways, thank y'all for taking this trip with me. Let me know how this is going for y'all. Socials are gonna be in the bio. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe if you like the video, or just to keep track of what's going on in my life. I'm gonna try to be on here and share as much as possible about what's going on with me. What's another thing? Oh, I'm streaming on Twitch now for games. Love gaming, but I'm streaming on Twitch now. I just bought a camera. I just bought a capture card. So the quality of my stream should be going up here soon. But yeah, check that out. Again, everything's gonna be in the bio. I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.